day number 5 of the copywriting journey. In this video, I'm going to be going through the Adweek copywriting handbook, as well as the Copy That 22-hour mega course. I'm not going to cover all of it, so I read chapters 8 through 10 of the book, and then I watched about an hour's worth of the mega course video. So with that, we'll get into the book. In chapter 8, so going from chapter 7 into chapter 8, chapter 7 was all about creating this harmony with your reader. Get the reader to start agreeing with you. Never allow for them to say no along the way in your copy. You want them to be saying yes, 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 and until there is a call to action so that they will say yes to this call to action. And so that leads you into chapter 8, which is the slippery slide. This is kind of goes along with the idea of copy in general is that first sentence. The purpose of the first sentence is to get you to read the second sentence, to get you to read the third. It's bringing you in, like in one of the videos I referenced, like a tornado effect. It's bringing you in, it's drawing you in, and that's kind of what you want to do with the copy. You want it to flow from headline to the subheading to into your copy, and flow all the way down to your call to action to get them to get your reader to make a decision. And so Sugarman calls this the force of reading gravity. And this allows for more traffic. That's not necessarily eyeballs on your copy, but it's people that actually read through the copy and actually get all the way through it. And he says that it's been proven that if a reader reads more than 20% or more than 25% of your ad, there's a great probability that he or she will read the entire ad. And so that should be your goal. Your readers should be so compelled to read your copy that they can't stop reading until they read all of it. And that's where this slippery slide comes into play. And so one of the mechanisms that he talks about using, which I plan to use in mine as well, is utilizing articles or stories that catches attention and that holds attention so that you can get somebody to continue reading. Chapter 9 is about assumed constraints. And he talks about at circuses, you will often see this elephant that is attached to a stake in the ground, and they have a chain that's attached to their leg, and how ridiculous that is that this elephant has this assumed constraint because when it was little, it was attached and maybe it couldn't pull away, but as it's grown, it can obviously get away, but it has this assumed constraint. And he says that we don't want to have this mentality when it comes to writing. We want to be able to think outside of the box, think without these constraints. And his example is this, maybe you've seen it. It's 9 dots within a square, and he says use 4 lines to connect all the dots. Well, if you stay within the box, there's no way to possibly do it. But if you go outside of the box, then you're able to do the 4 lines connecting all of the dots. And so I felt like that was a pretty powerful point, is to not assume that you are limited or that you're constrained, but to, I need to really challenge myself to think outside of the box. And he says that you never really know what will work or what won't. If you believe in your idea, you should do it and step out of those assumed constraints. Lastly, chapter 10 was seeds of curiosity. And he says one way to increase readership is applying these seeds of curiosity. And his examples were using like short, punchy sentences like, but there's more, so read on. But I didn't stop there. Let me explain. Now, here comes the good part. Things like that draw the reader in. They bring about a certain curiosity of, I wonder what's going to happen next. That was really his main point was, and I feel like all of those kind of go together, is utilize copy in a way that that keeps a reader reading, retains them for longer, draws them in, keeps them reading, and keeps them curious of what's going to happen next. What's this next line going to say? What's this next line going to say? All the way until you get to that call to action, whether that's to buy, whether that's to download something, whether that's to click on something. All of it is building to that call to action. And so that's the copywriting handbook. And then once I got into the 22-hour mega course, today's focus was on voice of customer data. And so they really hit on the indirect voice of customer data, which they call that IVOC. And so that would be your customer's desires, firm notions, shakeable notions, identifications, characteristics, and then obviously there's always room for other. And so they talk about where can you find IVOC, where can you find the voice, this indirect voice of the customer. And they say that you should be looking in the areas where your customers hang out. And so that could be a Facebook group, a subreddit, that could be an online forum, that could be the review section, that could be in the YouTube comments, that could be on a Discord server. Things like this are going to allow you to tap into your customer's voice. And once you have that, once you find that those places where your customers hang out, then it's good to break down. Let's say there's a comment. It would be good to break down that comment or several comments into these different data points based on the categories. So going back to their firm notions, their shakeable notions, their desires, their characteristics, their identifications. Break down each comment into one of those and start building summaries based on those categories. And once you have those summaries, then you can continue to search and look around online and start to tally up how many of those there are, so that you're building this these different data sets and all of this research so that you can have a good idea of how to actually speak to your customer. So a lot of it, like 80%, I think they said, is all research, and the 20% is just writing in a persuasive manner. And so that was 30 minutes to an hour of the video, and I honestly found that really helpful because they had talked about research in the last video, but they didn't really give much that was like super practical. And I feel like this is something that I could go and do today, which I may actually do tomorrow, is find a local company and find out where their customers are hanging out, where are they leaving reviews, where are they talking, and try to build these different data points and these different summaries. And maybe that's something that I can do, is start to write copy for a local company and potentially use that as a free means to, send it to them as an example of, hey, I'm a brand new copywriter. Here is something that I've worked on your business. Can we talk about this, or what do you think about this? So that might be something that I potentially do starting tomorrow. But with that, I am going to try to watch a little bit more of the video and try to read another chapter or two of the book today. But I will see you in day 6.